The Cubs travel across the pond to London. We break down the Cubs Cardinals and talk to two listeners from the UK and Ireland, respectively. Here we go.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Please support the show and be a part of our worldwide Locked On Cubs community by following on your preferred audio platform. And you can watch, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's Friday episode is presented by Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/lockedonmlb for some great shirts, shorts, and pants. And they'll throw in a free custom Bird Dogs Yeti-style tumbler with every order. Cubs and Cardinals play in the London series this weekend as a part of the MLB World Tour. We're going to talk to a couple worldwide everydayers later in the show. Mike and Charlie joined myself earlier on Thursday. And Mike from the United Kingdom, Charlie from Ireland, and we're going to get to talk to them later on. But first, we preview Cubs cards across the pond. First pitch Saturday, Sam, 12:10 p.m. Central Time, and first pitch Sunday at 9:10 a.m. Central Time. Cubs are 10-2 since June 9th and 36-38 overall. Cardinals are 31-44. Northsiders have another opportunity to keep climbing this weekend, Sam, and if they take both, it will return stateside a 500 team.
Yeah, I was actually doing some research today in the brief time that I had on just like, and it might not be this weekend for us, but it's going to be really fun. We're going to record whether we're with each other or separate, like us watching the games. And I watched some other people that do it. This is kind of made for us. And I'm just like thinking about it. I'm going to go nuts.
Yeah, we definitely got to try it.
Yeah, as far as this series goes, look, the whole London thing, I'm interested to hear your interviews, if that's what you want to call them, more just conversations. When I think London, when I think England, when I think UK, I think football, not American. I think Tottenham, I think Arsenal, I think EPL. So I'm interested to see the crowd there and the passion there. I think it's cool that they selected the Cubs Cardinals, which is a nice rivalry, two popular teams. But at the end of the day, you know where I'm going to go with this. All the, the London stuff's fun.
Pomp and circumstance.
Yeah, all the outside noise for this is great. This is two very important baseball games. And I don't care if they're playing them in London, Wrigley, Busch, Europe, the Middle East, South America,
Crystal Lake, for all I care.
They could play them. They could play these games out in my parking lot and make bases. If they count, they count. And the Cubs need to come away at least with one, but with a chance for two.
Well, they have the matchups to do it, like you said. By the way, the last time they were 500 this year was May 12th when they were 19-19. It's going to be Steele versus Wainwright and Stroman versus Flaherty. I would say somewhat of a shrewd move by Hoyer and Ross to move Stroman to pitch against a division rival here. Stroman will be on regular rest, and Jamison Tyone will get skipped. And I've really have dug in on these last 12. You're 10-2 since June 9th. 2 weeks ago today, we had an episode literally titled, "Do the Chicago Cubs Have Any Fight in Them?" The answer is yes, they did. And actually with some urgency and some decisiveness. The amount of runs they've scored in this 2 weeks has been nothing short of impressive. And, Nico Horner and everyone from Nico Horner on down has done a great job. We've talked about Mike Tauchman. In this 2-week stretch, Yan Gomes has the highest OBP on the team. Did you know that?
No. Wait, say that again?
Yeah, so since June 9th, Yan Gomes has a 478 OBP. Is that wild? Yeah. Nick Madrigal leads this team with 4 steals in the last 2 weeks. Horner, Happ, and Morrell all have 12 RBI each. Morrell with the 4 homers. Really, all 13 rostered position players are doing well outside of Bellinger, Mancini, and Mastroboni, who I didn't even want to mention on this show ever again. But he's 0 for 6 in case you were keeping track since he's returned. But otherwise, the other group is doing excellent, and you have your 2 best pitchers going. You mentioned off air about Stroman's routine. I think everyone's routine is going to be interesting to keep an eye on, but they got there in plenty of time. They're leaving in plenty of time. This narrative of like messing with the mojo because they traveled is buried, I think, because it only took them 6 hours to get there. Tom Ricketts was on the Score this morning. He said it only took us 6 hours. They don't even play for almost another 48 hours. So by us recording now. So I'm not really worried about that at this point. And I'm just excited to see this team on a national stage, or I guess a worldwide stage.
The only thing that's going on right now with this team that's bothering me,
right,
that needs to be rectified this weekend is either Ian Happ or Seiya Suzuki have to hit a baseball over the fence in fair territory.
So so you would like to see either one of those dudes hit a home run this weekend?
They have combined for 11 homer
on the year.
It's June. When you listen to this, it'll be June 23rd.
23, yeah. Yeah, it's not good.
There's still 3 behind Wisdom. He hasn't played in
He might not even return to this club.
Ian, I mean, those guys, honestly, my target number for them this year would have been combined would be in like the high 50.
Oh, combined, yeah. It's just strange with Happ. I don't know if he has the swing to do it anymore.
And they're at 11.
Or approach as well.
Yeah, no, I think you said it right. I think it's like the swing path. Suzuki had a sack fly the other day.
Suzuki should, though, to have 20.
Suzuki had a sack fly the other day, and he bat flipped it. It didn't even make it to the track.
He was proud of himself.
Like he did I was like, oh, that ball,
Yeah.
What?
Right. And the pitching for the Cubs lately has been solid as it has most of the year, but especially starting pitching. Pitching overall since the same June 9th date we're going off of. Here's something interesting, Sam. Cubs are 4th in team ERA at 3.11.
Wow.
Despite being 4th to last, 27th overall in strikeouts with 84. So they're relying on their defense, and the defense has been good for the most part as well.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those series where it's only 2 games and the odds are they're going to split. If the Cubs win both of them, it's an early knockout punch to St. Louis. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's similar to the Pirates series this week. Put them in the ground.
Yeah, it just feels like if they could win 2, because since he plays Atlanta this weekend,
right?
If they win that,
Braves, dude.
If they win that series, I'll be coming live on air and talking about how nervous I am. I don't think they're gonna. I think
the Braves might sweep. The Reds' rotation's a joke.
Yeah, but everybody on their team is like a 360 OBP.
So hopefully the Braves take advantage and win maybe by some softball scores.
I have a slight tear in my rotator cuff.
Okay, thanks.
No, I'm serious.
We're doing what? Were you playing catch or?
No, I've been like throwing a lot this week.
And,
And I talked to some docs and I'm not good enough at any sport to need a surgery. I'll just have to live with this forever.
Oh, wow.
I can't throw. I can't come back and throw.
So you really have a tear?
I think of a very minor tear.
Like a slight tear.
Yeah, the kind of like, one of these Cubs pitchers.
Right. Well, no, a lot of them have been throwing well, dude.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Cardinals have all the same suspects as usual, dude.
I know.
Jordan Walker is the one threat I'm keeping an eye on.
Okay.
He's been red hot.
I'm keeping an eye on Contreras if he hits a single to get his average over 202 to go, yeah, it's me. Something like that. Like anybody cares anymore.
The last time MLB played in London, the London stadium dimensions were pretty comical to the point where they've changed them this time around. That Red Sox Yankees series in 19 had some pretty comical scores, inflated scores.
Oh.
So the left field and right field lines this weekend will be Sam will be 330 down each line. Alley's 387, which is deep.
Forget what I said about
only
the homer.
392 to center. Okay. So it kind of jets out and then comes back in towards the middle there. So yeah, exciting times. Saturday will be on Fox. Again, that's 12:10 Central.
That's Smoltz.
And Sunday will be at 9:10 a.m. Central on ESPN with Michael Kay and Alex Rodriguez.
Well, that'll be fun if I'm awake. Saturday, I think are you
Joe
getting
Davis.
Buck? I mean, Joe Davis. Yeah, Buck. He doesn't even work for Fox anymore.
Yeah.
Joe Davis and Smoltz.
I believe so.
And then A-Rod and Michael Kay.
Right, and Derek Jeter making his Fox debut studio coverage Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll miss the first couple innings of Saturday, and then I'll be good. And then Sunday, I'll set my alarm for 6 a.m. and we'll be fine.
Well, let's hear from some folks that are across the pond themselves. A couple of our everydayers reached out to us, Mike in the United Kingdom and Charlie in Ireland. And we're going to hear from them coming up next. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball season is in full swing. There's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Go to FanDuel.com/LockedOn to sign up. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the Locked On Podcast Network. The Cubs play the Cardinals at 12:10 p.m. Central Saturday, and you can listen to every pitch with the Cubs hometown broadcast on SiriusXM. On the SXM app, search Cubs or tune in to channel 844 and catch the Cubs all season long on SiriusXM. And that game, as well as Sunday at 9:10 a.m. Central, will be played in London as part of the London series, Cubs and Cardinals. And we're honored and pleased to be joined right now by Mike in the United Kingdom and Charlie in Ireland. Gentlemen, so excited for a pair of international everydayers to be on, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Great to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much for getting us on. It's great.
And both of you have your Cubs gear on, which is just fantastic. That was not coordinated by me as the producer, so these guys know what they're doing. And I first wanted to get, just in terms of really distance here, want to know what I think a lot of listeners would is, how are you a Cubs fan? Mike, we could start with you.
Yeah, sure. So my dad, who's sadly passed away a couple of years ago from prostate cancer, he used to live in Chicago. And when we were sort of 12, 13, I think he sort of took us over to see a ball game at Wrigley Field. And it was something I'll always remember. And then a few years on from that, when we were when the Cubs made it into the World Series, I remember we would, stay up late at night to watch the series. I'd have to go into his room and wake him up. Wow. Was a little bit scared to disturb the beast, but he was okay, and we would stay up and we would watch the game. In this last year, I've really, really picked up a lot of interest in it, and looking forward to seeing the game Saturday.
Charlie?
I lived in Chicago in 99 when Sammy was hitting bombs. So we were over there. We spent the summer there. So I lived a couple of blocks on West Roscoe, just down from Wrigley. So kind of got into it, went to a few games. And over the summer then, kind of living around Wrigley and that, just you get hooked. And we went back a couple of years later then for another couple of games. And sadly, haven't been since. So looking forward to this weekend. I had everything sorted for 2 years ago and COVID ruined it. So looking forward now to getting over to London now for this weekend and join 2 games.
Yeah, Cubs Cardinals originally were scheduled to play in 2020. Now, 3 years later, it's finally going to happen. What was your first impression then, having both been there, of Wrigley Field?
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was quite young when I was there, but I've got this great photo of me, and I think we were in the bleachers. We had the scoreboard right behind us. I really loved it, and there was a thunderstorm that rolled in, but I was the only one of my brothers, and I still hold it to them this day that stuck it out and stayed until the end of the ninth inning. So, but yeah, love the whole thing. It was a real cherished memory.
Honestly, yeah, I loved it at Wrigley. Yeah, actually, all Wrigleyville. Then it was brilliant. Just be even when you went to the games, since I only lived a couple of blocks away. You just even when there was games on, you had tickets. We were hanging out there up at the bars and that. So obviously, it's an Irish bar stuck right in the middle, so that always helps. And hanging out in Murphy's and that, went to a few games, and it's just the whole the atmosphere in the whole area was brilliant. I know it's probably changed it for a bit since then, but yeah, I'm sure it's still good.
Absolutely, and the goal for the London series is to obviously grow baseball on an international scale, and in this case, grow baseball in the UK and other European countries. For either of you, what would you say is the UK and or Ireland's relationship with baseball over the years? Because soccer is so prominent over there, cricket so prominent. What is baseball like over there? For either of you?
Well, for me, I think it is. I don't naturally come across people that are crazy about baseball, but I really appreciate the investment that they're making into it. I think last year we went to one of the home run derbies where a few of the Cubs team would come down and they would just be hitting home run, homers into the crowd, and that was great fun. And I think they're doing that again at Trafalgar Square this year. So even though the game's on, it's great to see that they've got other things around London that are, trying to get fans sort of into it. I think it definitely feels like it's got momentum. But yeah, as you know, soccer is kind of runs within the blood of the country. So it's always a little bit shadowed, just like every other sport. But good to see it's on the way up.
That's great. Charlie, anything to add there?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing here, I suppose, it's Gaelic football and hurling and that. So, but it's more. I don't know too many baseball teams here, but there's an awful lot of softball. I know that I'm in Castleknock here in Dublin. There's a softball team just a mile up the road, so they're there. They even had a mini batting cage set up at the weekend there for a festival, and they had our Taoiseach, our Prime Minister, was out swinging. So so there's a lot of softball all around here, and not too many baseball, but yeah, there's good gangs. It's a very social thing, so you see them all get around the pub some evenings and that. So it's good fun.
That's awesome, and there's going to be a lot of events around the games this weekend near London Stadium. Cubs Cardinals. There's going to be some meetups, local pubs, some events, including Home Run Derby X, which this year features former Cub Dexter Fowler, along with some other former Major League players. As far as you guys can tell, how much excitement is there right now for Cubs Cardinals this weekend? Mike, we'll start with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sort of a little bit more out in the sticks. I'm outside of London, but I've been carrying the hype for the village that I live in single-handedly. I'm going down with one of my extremely good friends, and we talk almost every night about the games. And do you know what? A couple of weeks ago, I would have just taken it for the experience of being like, let's go see the Cubs, and it'll be great. But with the few weeks that we've just had, I'm now really wanting to get, another win, push towards that, 500 mark, which would be fantastic.
Charlie?
Yeah, I gotta say that there's a good few. And we were in work there last week. We're out after work, and there was 3 or 4 guys from work that are actually heading over there that I didn't know about. So there's a good few heading over. A lot of them are just going over for the experience and see what it's like. And I know there was a few that were over at the Yankees and Red Sox when they were here a few years ago, so they loved it then, and they're going again just to soak up the atmosphere. So they loved it, so it's another reason for me to go over. So I must say, looking forward to it. It's gonna be a couple of good days in London.
Given that, and then also the crowds that we see over here for soccer, even for cricket or otherwise, what do you think the crowd will be like on Saturday when you're there during the actual game? Is it going to be loud, like a World Baseball Classic type of a vibe, or what kind of a vibe is that going to have, do you think, during the actual 9 innings of play? Charlie?
So yeah, I mean, I'm
or Mike, yeah.
Super open-minded about it, and obviously, I'm kind of used to the arena of soccer where you separate the fans, and then all hell can break loose. But we, do you know what I think with everything? I hope you feel the same as Cubs fans, but I definitely feel like there's such a great vibe at the moment with the kind of form that we're on, and I hope to I'm just looking forward to being amongst other Cubs fans, and being able to sort of cheer on the team, and hopefully we can do our best to bring a bit of an electric atmosphere to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
As on there, just looking on Twitter before I came on here, and it seems to have kicked off already. I was looking at all like the Cubs have arrived. There's a few of them down in the pub, and it seems to be all kicking off. They're all singing. It's all a lot of drinking going on, and it seems to have started without us. I feel sorry now. I'm not going till tomorrow, but it seems to be. I think Trafalgar Square is kicking off as well, so it's all sealed off for all weekend. So it looks to have started already, and I'd say it's gonna be great. On the game itself, I hope I'd say most people are hoping for a few runs more than anything else. I doubt there's as many people that appreciate good pitching as seeing a few home runs. So I'd say that'll help and get the atmosphere going.
Yeah, and I know they pushed the dimensions back. We talked about that earlier in the show. Since the last London series in 2019, when the games were really high scoring. Cubs are 10-2 since June 9th, and I know both of you have followed the team throughout the year. What are you most looking forward to this weekend, whether it's the game itself or the atmosphere? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, for me, you know what? I'm just kind of like I've seen it so much, on the streaming service I use, and like just to kind of see it in the flesh will be enough for me this year. Like, there's so many players that I'm so looking forward to kind of seeing in the flesh, and I think it's just like I think the occasion itself is it's just going to be epic, and if we can get a few dingers on top of that, then that's that'll just make my day.
Yeah, because it's a few things. I'm delighted they've changed things around, and Stroman's on Sunday now, so I'm really looking forward to seeing them with Steele and Stroman. So that's brilliant. And I'm bringing my daughter; she's 13. Bringing Lucy along, and since she's been on about Mike Tauchman now since he had that catch at Giants, so she's delighted. She can't wait to see him. So it's going to be good, and it is just I haven't seen any of these players live, so hopefully I'm up in left field, so hopefully Morel can hit me up there and catch a few to be all right.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah. And they changed the rotation around. Steele Saturday, Stroman Sunday, and for the quick 2-gamer series here, hopefully they can get the brooms out once again. If they do that, they're going to return stateside on Tuesday at 500 at 38-38. So it'd be great to get both of those games. So we've heard you guys mention a few players already. If there was one you really wanted to see, who would it be on the current team?
I would love to see. I'd love to see Stroman pitch. That would have been great. I've been following him, and
Yes.
I just the like an electricity when he's pitching. It's great to watch. But you know what? And any of them was great. I'm just happy to be there.
Absolutely, yeah. Charlie?
I gotta say, I'm delighted Swanson's made it. I'm looking forward to seeing him go. So I know he had X-rays there, but he's there. I've seen pictures of him there.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's good to go. And now I'm looking forward to him. He's been brilliant. So I want to see him in the flesh and see how he plays.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Really excited for everybody to hear this on whenever and wherever they may be listening. It's a little surreal, to do this show almost a year in, and to think that we have listeners around the world is really cool. Cubs, I'm convinced more and more each day that Cubs have the best fans on the planet of any of the sports. And Mike and Charlie, thank you so much.
Oh,
thank you, man. Thank you, Sam, as well. And I'll see you at the game, Charlie.
Yeah, see you there.
Yeah, maybe off air you guys could exchange numbers or something.
Sure.
Shout out to the everydayers who are with us all 5 episodes throughout the week. And you can become an everydayer, whether you're in the UK, Ireland, or wherever you may be listening, by checking us out each and every weekday. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for Locked On Cubs and on YouTube, and smash the like button for the algorithm, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast on the audio side, and streaming on Sirius XM. For Sam Mulber, for Mike, for Charlie, I'm Matt Cozy, and this is Locked On Cubs.